This is a story that I learned many years ago, and I credit the storyteller, the American storyteller, Doug Littman, who was my mentor for a number of years. And I'm sure there is a written version of this story somewhere, but like many stories, I hear a story from a storyteller, and then I go on to tell it the way I remembered it. And so this is one of those stories. A long time ago, there was a father who had fallen on hard times. His wife had died several years earlier, giving birth to their son. And now this man was left to raise their son. He wasn't a rich man by any means. No, he was a poor man. And this man, if you had met him, he was always cursing his plight in the world. It's like, oh, woe is me. The world has been so hard on me. Why do I deserve this? And his anger, he'd often take his anger out on his son, striking him in anger and cursing him. And in fact, one day he cursed his son and say, "Whoa, the day that you were born, I was cursed. How can I raise you? I can barely afford enough for myself." But the son, as he grew older, continued to help his father. And one day, son and father were out stacking firewood. And when they had finished, they saw there was an older woman that lived next door to them. And there she was, picking up sticks of wood, trying to pile up her own wood. And the father said, to his son, "Don't just stand there. Go and help her." And so the boy went over and helped the old woman, picked up the sticks and piled up the wood for her. And when they had finished, the old woman came to the boy, and she laid her hand on his cheek. "Oh," she said, your face is the reflection of the Son of God. Bless you, son." And the boy stood back. He was confused. He said to the old woman, "What was that?" And the old woman said, "Why, that was a blessing. Have you never been blessed before?" No. The boy went home, and that evening at the dinner table, the boy said to his father, "Father, why don't you bless me?" "Bless you," he said. "Why should I bless you? Look at our life. We're poor. Look at what the world has done to me. Why would I bless you? Off with you." Well, as the boy grew older, he made a decision that when he left home and when he married and when he had children, he would do everything so differently. He would not be like his father. He would raise his children with kindness, and he would bless them. And so the time came when the boy came of age. He left home. He moved far away from his father, far away to another city. And he did marry. And he and his wife had 2 lovely boys. And true to his word, he raised those boys with kindness and with love. And he blessed them every day and told them how much he loved them. The years passed. One winter, on a cold winter night, the family were making dinner, and there was a knock on the door. And the 2 young boys went to the door and opened it, and there was a thin old man with a long white beard and scraggly hair and a tattered coat. He was a beggar man. And he said to the boys, he said, "Boys, could you spare just a scrap of food for an old man?" Now the boys, having been brought up to be hospitable, invited the old man to come in out of the cold. Come in and stand by the fire," they said. "We'll get our parents." And they went and fetched their parents. And the parents came out. And the father, that young father, he recognized the old man as none other than his own father. But he kept that knowledge a secret. He didn't tell anyone. Now the old man, his sight was failing, so he did not recognize his son. But the family welcomed him in and said, "You must stay and have dinner with us. Share our food. You're welcome. Tell us a little bit about yourself." "Oh," he said, "oh, I have had a hard life. A hard life. The world has not been fair to me. I curse so..." And the young father stopped him. He said, "Grandfather," for they call the elderly people grandfather, grandmother. He said, "Grandfather, please, we do not allow cursing in this house." Well, and it was difficult for the old man, but he agreed. And he sat down and enjoyed a lovely meal. And at the end of the meal, the young father said to the old man, he said, "You are welcome to stay with us for as long as you want, certainly through the winter. And if you want to go in the spring, you may. But you're welcome, on the condition that you do not curse in this house. We do not curse here, we bless." Well, the old man wasn't used to that, but he agreed. And so the old man lived with them through the winter, and it was difficult for him to change his ways, but in time he did. He cursed less, and he blessed more. And he became something of a blessing to the family, for he loved to tell stories to the two young children. And he would mind them when the parents were working. He was good company. Well, meanwhile, the young father was troubled. He was troubled with memories of his own childhood, of growing up with the old man and being cursed all through his childhood. And these troubles, they disturbed his sleep. He had bad dreams, nightmares. And one night, he woke up from one of these nightmares, and he got up from bed and he went outside. There was a winter storm raging outside. And the raging of the storm in many ways reflected what was going on in his heart. And he cursed out there. He goes, why did my father, why did he have to come back? Why did he have to be like that to me? Why did I have to have such a childhood? And he was ranting and raving, and he kicked the earth, and he dislodged a stone. And he reached down and he picked up this stone in his hand, and he was crushing it in his hand, and he was about to throw it away when a voice said, "Do not throw away the heart of your father." And the man held on to that stone. And he took a deep breath, and he returned to the house. And he took the stone and he put the stone on the mantle of the fireplace. Well, the winter went on, and it was clear as spring was approaching that the old man was ill, was nearing the end of his life. And the family obviously knew that they would care for the old man until the end came. And the old man had to take to his bed. His sight was almost gone, virtually gone. He was dying. He knew it. And one evening, the young father sat on the edge of the bed and said to the old man, he said, "Sir, is there anything I can do for you? Do you have a last wish? Anything I can do to make you more comfortable before you die?" And the old man said, "Yes." He said, "Yes, you see, I was a terrible father when I was young. Not like you at all. I mistreated my son, and he left me, and I've not seen him in all these years. If I had one last wish, I would ask you that after I die, if you would find him for me and ask if he could forgive me." And that's when the young father's heart broke. And he reached down and took the old man's hand. He said, "Father, it's me. I am your son." And although the old man could not see so clearly, he reached up and he put his hand gently on the man's face, and he said, "Ah, yes, yes, son, your face is the reflection of the face of God. I love you." And with that, he died. And the young man sat there with his father for a while. And after a while, he got up and he saw the stone that he had left on the mantle some months earlier. And he went over and he picked up that stone and held it tightly in his hand. And when he felt it crack in his hand, and when he opened his palm, he turned over the two pieces of the stone and saw that this gray stone was filled with beautiful crystal, out of which radiated a beautiful light that filled the room. The Father's blessing.